Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the delivery of appointment.
We're going to do, which one are we doing first? I missed the read through.
This is the
I, Michelle J. Howard,
I, Michelle W. Howard,
do solemnly reaffirm
do solemnly reaffirm
to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States
to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
to bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
to bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
execute the office upon which I am about to enter.
execute the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. I will now read the letter authorizing Vice Admiral Howard to assume the rank of Admiral. From Chief of Naval Personnel to Admiral Michelle J. Howard, USN. Subject, appointment as an Admiral. The President of the United States has appointed you as an Admiral in the United States Navy while serving as Vice Chief of Naval Operations. Signed, D.L. Dylan Snyder, Director, Flag Officer Distribution. Secretary Mabus will now present the rank of Admiral and invites her husband to join him on the stage.
Yeah, I topped out at JG.
All members of the Uniform Board, please report.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to present you Admiral Michelle J. Howard, United States Navy.
It is a remarkable sign of leadership to be persistent in your goals and to achieve them. Many of you are wondering what my first act will be as Admiral, and I thought long and hard about it, and then I thought, I can call Admiral Greenert by his first name. So good morning, CNO. I have many of you to thank for this Navy journey. And as I thought about today's ceremony, who was the most important to this event, my list just kept growing and growing and growing. And then prioritizing the list was challenging. And finally, I realized the top of the list was a tie. I must start by thanking Rear Admiral Yoon and Rob Bianchi of NEXCOM. If you don't believe today was a first, when I called to order 4-star shoulder boards for women, they didn't exist. A special contract was let, and you folks are seeing the first set in the history of the United States Navy. And John, I'm going to let you work that whole quality control thing. So thank you, NAVSUP and NEXCOM. Wayne, Mom, Lisa, David, Sanjay, Jason, Sol, and Lizzie. I have friends who are family here. I have a roommate who's a roommate for life. And I have a Colorado contingent out there, Mark and Deb and Uncle Chuck. I also have shipmates from sea and from the Pentagon. And I also have my front office to thank today, Captain Wagner, Meredith, Jake, and YM1. I don't want to mention you all by name, because I will fail. Because every one of you who's in a chair had something to do with me standing up here. I do want to recognize my fellow naval attachés, though. This last year, you have helped me succeed. You've prepared us when the CNOs traveled. You've prepared me when I've traveled. You've been the wonderful interlocutors with your leaders. And I'm very proud to have served with you in the Beltway, just as when we meet up at sea, and I've served with many of the navies of your nations. I'm so very proud to serve with you at sea. So thank you for all of those who represent your countries today for joining us for this event. It is fitting on today, having just sworn an oath to the Constitution, and it is July 1st, to talk about the American Revolution. Britain and the colonies had been in a state of war for almost a year when Richard Lee, a delegate from Virginia, in June of 1776, moved that these united colonies are, and of right, ought to be free and independent states. He led us to what is a defining American characteristic: decisive words and action. The next thing that happened is also enshrined in our American heritage. We formed a committee. But what a committee! John Adams, Roger Sherman, Benjamin Franklin, Robert Livingston, and Thomas Jefferson. The Committee of Five was to draft the reasons for independence and put them on paper. Thomas Jefferson was the chief writer, and his true sacrifice is that he willingly endured the editing of his fellow committee members because the final document was cut by 25% from the original. But the words that stayed are glorious. And on this day in 1776, on July 1st in 1776, the Second Continental Congress formally adopted Lee's resolution to declare independence with a unanimous vote. In a letter to his beloved wife Abigail, John Adams wrote, "You will think me transported with enthusiasm, but maybe I'm not. I am well aware of the toil and blood and treasure that it will cost us to maintain this declaration and support and defend these states. Yet through all the gloom, I see the rays of ravishing light and glory. I can see that the end is worth more than the means, and that prosperity will triumph in the coming day's transaction. In addition to decisive words and action, volunteerism is the core of the United States' personal character and our national identity. The willingness to step up and contribute to a noble cause in your life is a sign of true selflessness. Our sailors and Marines are this legacy. They are volunteers, and with every mission, they demonstrate our core values. Values our founders would have understood: courage, honor, commitment. Around the world, on watch, they embody decisive words and action. And it has been my privilege to command and serve with them. My final thanks today goes to today's USS, the United States Sailor. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Secretary of Navy, CNO, Admiral Howard, and her family, thank you very much for attending today's ceremony and sharing in this special event. This concludes the official ceremony. Please remain in place until the departure of the official party. After their departure, please proceed directly to the reception in the foyer. The official party will arrive to cut the cake in 15 minutes. Admiral Howard will receive you as you depart the memorial. Have a great morning.